Somewhere inside a climate-controlled vault at Yale sits a book that has broken more brilliant minds than any war, a virus, any unsolved murder in history. The same codebreakers who cracked the Nazi Enigma machine, a cipher the Germans believed was mathematically unbreakable, tried this book and walked away defeated. Cold War intelligence officers threw entire careers at it. Modern artificial intelligence, trained on every known human language, jokes on it too. It is called the Voynich Manuscript, roughly 240 pages of flowing, confident handwriting in an alphabet that matches nothing else ever found on Earth, wrapped around paintings of plants that do not exist in nature, and naked women bathing in green liquid pumped through strange anatomical tubing. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why nobody can prove whether this book is a lost language, an elaborate con, or something far stranger than either. The story starts in 1912, inside the Villa Mondragon, a Jesuit college outside Rome that was quietly selling off its library to raise money. A Polish-American book dealer named Wilfred Voynich was rummaging through a chest of old manuscripts when he pulled out something unlike anything he had ever handled. Vellum pages, bound in goatskin, filled edge to edge with looping, rhythmic script and hand-painted illustrations in faded reds, blues, and greens. There was a letter tucked inside, dated 1665, from a scholar claiming the book once belonged to Rudolph II, Holy Roman Emperor and famous collector of curiosities and occult texts. Voynich bought the whole lot, brought it to America, and spent the rest of his life trying to convince the world's top cryptographers to crack it. None of them ever did. The book now carries his name. Here is where most hoax theories should have died instantly, and yet they did not. In 2009, researchers at the University of Arizona finally got permission to test the actual vellum using radiocarbon dating. The result, the calfskin pages were produced between 1404 and 1438, with better than 95% confidence. The ink was later confirmed to be consistent with that same era, not a modern edition. That means whoever made this thing did it during the early Italian Renaissance, decades before Christopher Columbus ever left Europe. It also means the leading theory that Voynich forged it himself in the 1900s to swindle collectors collapses immediately, because you cannot fake 500-year-old cowhide. Something, or someone sat down 6 centuries ago and produced 240 pages of a script that has never once matched a known language, dialect, or cipher system in all of recorded history. So what does it actually say? The manuscript splits into distinct sections, each with its own obsession. First comes a herbal section, page after page of plants with roots, leaves, and flowers that botanists have never matched to any real species on Earth. Next is an astronomical section, circular diagrams packed with stars and zodiac symbols. Then the strangest part, dozens of nude women, clearly pregnant or bathing, connected by looping green pipes to towers and pools, like some kind of biological plumbing system. A pharmaceutical section follows, drawings of jars and roots. Statisticians who ran the actual text through frequency analysis found something eerie. The word patterns follow Zipf's law, the same statistical rhythm found in every real human language, from English to Mandarin. It does not look random. It looks like something trying very hard to communicate meaning. Naturally, everyone wanted to be the one who cracked it. Wilfred Voynich himself pushed the theory that it was written by the 13th century friar Roger Bacon, an early scientific pioneer who dabbled in optics and alchemy. Others blame John Dee and Edward Kelly, 2 Elizabethan occultists known for claiming to speak with angels through invented alphabets, exactly the kind of men who might sell a mysterious angelic book to a gullible emperor. Then came William Friedman, the legendary American cryptographer, who helped break Japanese codes in World War II. He spent decades on the Voynich manuscript in his spare time and got nowhere, eventually concluding it might be an early attempt at an artificial, constructed language. The NSA itself reportedly studied it during the Cold War. Every single attempt, by the sharpest code-breaking minds of the 20th century, ended in the exact same result, nothing. But maybe there is nothing to crack at all. In 2003, computer scientist Gordon Rugg proposed a chillingly simple explanation. Using nothing but a table of syllable fragments and a device called a cardon grill, a piece of card with holes cut in it, a 16th century con artist could mechanically generate page after page of gibberish that still obeys realistic language statistics, purely by shifting the grill across a grid of word parts. Rugg demonstrated he could fake convincing Voynich-like text in an afternoon. If true, This would mean the entire manuscript is an elaborate, expensive scam, likely sold to an emperor obsessed with magic and alchemy for a fortune. Rudolph II reportedly paid an enormous sum, some accounts say 600 gold ducats, for a book that may have been meaningless from the very first page. That is a fortune spent on possibly nothing. The claims of a solution keep coming anyway and keep collapsing. In 2019, University of Bristol historian Gerard Cheshire announced he had translated it, calling it a lost proto-Romance language used by nuns for a health manual. Linguists tore the theory apart within days, pointing out it broke basic rules of how languages actually work. In 2018, 2 Canadian researchers claimed artificial intelligence had identified it as encoded Hebrew. That collapsed too. Every few years, a new headline promises the mystery is finally over. Every time, the scholarly community responds the same way, unconvinced. The original manuscript now lives permanently at Yale's Voynich Rare Book Library, fully digitized and available for anyone on Earth to examine online, pixel by pixel, in case the person who finally cracks it is not a professional at all. And that is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. We have had this book, completely intact, fully photographed, fully accessible for over a century. We have thrown enigma breakers, NSA cryptographers, university linguists, and cutting-edge artificial intelligence at it, and not one of them has produced a translation that survives scrutiny. Either someone in the early 1400s invented a fully functional language from scratch and used it to write 240 pages we still cannot read, or someone in the early 1400s was clever enough to fool every genius for 600 years using nothing but ink, vellum, and a grill full of holes. Both possibilities are almost equally hard to believe. The book that outsmarted the machines that broke the Nazis is still sitting in a glass case in Connecticut, waiting. Subscribe for more stories like this.